Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Let's see that intro, and let's jump into the show. Yeah, you know, why not? Let's do it right. All right, we're back. Critical time for Bitcoin. Looks like it might be losing 110,000. Let's jump on in and see what's happening here to BTC. Get the lemon in the water. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can get the right stuff on the monitor too, if that could be possible for the team there. Yeah. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. We're going to jump on into BTC right now and show you what I see happening for Bitcoin. So we talked about this being a symmetrical triangle on the 1 hour. We said these mostly break to the downside. We tried to get back above the 200 moving average on the 5 minute, which we know is my signal, and we never could. We actually rolled over when we tried to get above it, and we dumped for some more dumpage to 109.5. Came back up and looked like we're dumping yet again. We're going to open this up and show you what it looks like on a bigger scale, but yes. And the first target was the beginning of this area, the double bottom, and then further down to 106,009, and then possibly all the way down to $103,000. And you can see here the big red, which was at 127,000, has now disappeared and is deeper here, hanging out at about $109,000 now. So it's likely, BOOKMAP is suggesting, that we do go lower and eat up $109,000. So it looks like Bitcoin is going to go lower. Let's take a look at our daily candle close and see what's happening here for Bitcoin. If I had to call it, I mean, look, this is a bit of a descending triangle, right? And these mainly break to the downside. So I would say this is more dumpage for BTC. And the idea is, we are going to go lower. So a short position here, a stop somewhere above the 200 moving average, and this thing could collapse further down to $105,643. So that just kind of looks like the likely scenario. This is kind of a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, and it looks like we would roll over. Could we pump out of nowhere to the upside? It could happen. Can this be a double bottom? There's a chance. It's not over yet. You never know. It's sketchy, actually. It could go either way any moment at this point in time, right? Both of us know that. It's insanity. But let's take a look at our daily close. Let's break it down. But right now, it's most likely going to break down the descending triangle to $105,500. That's just what's likely going to happen to Bitcoin. All right? Sorry to say. Facts are facts. TA is TA. Let's break it down. I was very bearish for weeks at a time, talking about the fact that this was some bearish div. The fact that it looked like we had actually broken the pattern and bearishly retested it. Kind of the same thing there almost, right? You could say, oh no, we're back inside. On the monthly, yes. On the weekly, I don't know, right? So let's kind of go over what I talked about yesterday in the fact that this is still above some monthly support at 107,000. If we can stay above 107K, there's a chance. We got a chance. So that we could stay bullish. Once we lose that, we'd have to be testing 103, 102, and then 94, and then 82,000 yet again. So This is a rising wedge. Rising wedges break down 68% of the time. So 68% of the time, this is going to break down to where it began. We actually went over this the day before the crash. I think the day of the crash. I was live that morning and I said, hey, look, you know, we could dump right down to this key area. Don't be surprised. It actually would be completely normal. It would be the 618 Fibonacci retracement, right? I said it wouldn't even be that crazy if we crashed down to $78,000, right? It just, you know. Now, the speed of the crash is what's a little crazy and manipulative of what happened. And if you look at it on the monthly, it's not even that big of a deal, right? It's kind of like a glitch in the radar there. But indecision doji, that is a doji, and it's not a strong one, especially where it's placed. So here's the deal, though. On the 3-day chart, we could say, you know, we still have this bit of an uptrend. And we could bounce off the lower uptrend. And then the daily as well. But it looks like the daily wants to come for that 200 moving average. It would be nice if this could kind of stay inside a trend, but it looks very unlikely. Almost looks like now it lost the trend. Like, see, if I put it there, I mean, it's gone. It's outside of the trend now, which is pretty bearish. I got to be honest. Like, you know, it's okay, it was attempting to stay inside. It had a little bit of hidden bullish yesterday, but that third candle now really positions it outside of the trend line. It had a trend line going here yesterday, but not anymore. So let's take a look at the daily close. It opened at 112,774.49 cents. The high was 113,322.39 cents. The low was 109,561.59 cents. And the candle closed at 110,644.40 cents, down $2,130, down 1.89% on the day of a massive asset, down 1.89%. It's crazy, right? So that's 3 red shoulders. I mean, 3, you know, and look, ever since the tweezer top right there, tweezer tops tell the story. A red candle next to a green one, a green one next to a red one. You know, you flip it upside down, we long those bottoms, you know, that is a perfect short right there. And then you put a stop on the other side of the wick and just take that daily candle. That would have been an amazing short. Just like I long the same way. And you just wait for a red candle next to a green one and a green one next to a red one. It's just very simple stuff. Really, really simple way to trade on the daily. Like, you could do nothing but trade the daily candles when there's a green one next to a red one after a massive move. You know? So everything's been pretty good, though. Let's take a look. The bot bought the bottom here. The bot bought like right around here, but it's going to have to continue to find its way. So the bot bought somewhere at 117.9 and also bought about 111.967. Right into this wick. It didn't buy the exact bottom, though. All right, and it's still somewhat underwater. It's going to take a lot for the bot. The bot's going to have to get out as well, but it mitigated itself somewhere down into these levels, right? And if we roll over, the bot's probably going to be able to buy again, one more, you know, again. So, but so far the bot is in the running for continuing to buy these lows. So you got to hand it to it. $110,095. It looks like 110 is about to get lost, and we're going to drop down to at least here, which would be the daily 200 moving average. All right, somewhere around this area, it looks like we're going to come to possibly double bottom 107,000. But I would look for the daily 200 moving average to touch. Look for price action to touch this key area. 70K Bitcoin, let's go. Yeah, very good buy. Exactly. To the moon. So yeah, we're likely going to the 200 with about 80 to 90, I'd say 90% accuracy, right? That's just likely where we're going to go. You'd be like, how do you know? It's just because I know, okay? You'd say, but Sam, there's strong bullish divergence here on the 1 hour time frame. RSI is moving up while price is moving down. I expect this to reverse. It very well may, you never know, but right now it's a descending triangle. And I've played this game before, and it's 90% of the time we're taking it up. So this looks more likely like we're going to dump than pump. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy over here on YouTube that likes to play with the chats and do technical analysis, right? But yeah, and I get about 106,000 as the target for BTC, the length of the base of the pole here. And that's likely where you go. I've seen this many a time. Now, does it mean it's going to happen for sure? Maybe not. Maybe we get a reversal. But the odds look unlikely here for Bitcoin. Looks like we may go sideways for a little bit and then roll on over. It would be great if this is the bottom. You look at the daily. But again, I'd wait for a tweezer bottom of some type. I'm not getting it just yet either, so I'm not loving what I'm seeing on the daily. The 5-minute didn't break back above the 200 moving average. If the 5 had broken back above the 200, I would remain bullish, but it did not. It did not. This looks like it could continue further to the upside. Stay above the 200. Kind of that opposite idea. 3-minute as well. The 1-minute also back below. Attempting somewhat of a double bottom, just looking bearish. So, yeah. Even the 1 hour doesn't look amazing. So we'll see. Only time will tell. There's a chance. There's some bullish div on the 1 hour. I'd like it to bounce. So for me, I would not long unless you get back above 113.3 and bounce here. You bounce somewhere here. This is where I would look for a long. But not until we get back above this key resistance at 113,300. Until then, this is all just fake out, breakout nonsense. We can still roll over. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here for Bitcoin. As we speak, a little bit of a bounce. Signs of life for BTC. From 109,968 back to 110.4. But I mean, that is ephemeral. What is ephemeral? It's short-lived. All right, that's what it means, short-lived. Ephemeral. EPHEMERAL, I believe, ephemeral. I believe I got the spelling correct. But there you go. And there you go, Barn. And there you go. And there you go. And there you go. Thank you, Barn. Thank you, Barn. So that looks like we're going likely to 106. So I've spoken. I've given my update. I've said my sauce. I'd love it if we bounce all the way up and defy all that I've said. But it looks likely like we roll over. But you never know. Show me the bacon. We break out here, we retest. I would long this back through the gap. Back to $121,000. We did move fast. I would expect a Bart Simpson right back to the upside. And I'll be the first one to see it when it happens. Right now, I'm just waiting for confirmation. Right now, they're giving me confirmation of more downside. Until further notice, I can't logically tell you we're going up with probability because the probability is not there. So the probability is we roll over and hit 106,000. But again, you do whatever makes you happy. Okay? Yes. And everything rolled over, sad to say. Let's take a look at Total 3. The entire market cap of all of the altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I mean, what a beautiful flag it was in, and we held this position for so long. Done. Right? Cooked. Absolutely cooked. Could we get back in those good graces? We may. And then continue a pump is a chance. But we'd have to make ourselves an inverted head and shoulder and beyond it back in action here. We got a V-shaped recovery. In the next 5 to 6 days, I'd say we'd have to be back inside this trend line. If not, something worse is happening. It's like we're making a giant double bottom. It's just taking a lot longer. We even lost $1 billion. We went back below that $1 trillion mark for the altcoins. Back to $887 billion. A sad sight to see. A sad sight to see. A sad sight to see for the altcoins. Not amazing. Anything poking out today, anything looks interesting compared to the rest of the market. Let's take a look at coin market cap. MyX with a tiny bounce, up 22%, which anything that could bounce, you think it would be MyX. VeChain a little bit, a 9%, almost 10% bounce in 24 hours. Zcash kind of still, wow, wait, hold up. Wow, so hold on, Zcash never looked back. Let's take a look at Zcash. So if you were in Zcash, you never lost money. This is actually very interesting. Zcash just continued on its run. It never even really, like it had a dip like that, right? But then continued to rip. Zcash went 152 right back to 288. Zcash still on a run. The real Bitcoin, isn't that crazy? Zcash is a fork of BTC. So look, this looks like it's going to pump tonight. Like, I know it sounds insane, but if I were to trade anything, I mean, why not? I mean, this thing is just on a tear. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the trend. Very high risk. They could easily go get anybody, but I mean, look at this. Risk to reward ratio with a stop below the key area all the way to 385. Dude, that's crazy. And it said it was going to go to this target. Wow, so this just does not care about BTC. And if anything could pump, Zcash is on a bit of a tear. So, like, I've always done this too. I've scanned the whole market, and there's always something. In the last few years, there's always something brewing that could continue to pump. And Zcash just looks like it may be the one. I don't know if I'll be back. Stocks do better without all the stress. Hey, you never know. Let's take a look at SWE. I mean, these things, 114, 145, and then all the way back to 250. SWE, like, this is just crazy what happened to this market. This thing was accumulating for months. It just blopped. Crazy. Let's take a look at what happened to ASTER. ASTER down to 118, got absolutely flattened. Thank God I jumped out of that. I would have lost so much money. I mean, I felt so like stupid saying, hey, I got out. Now I look back and I'm like, I feel so smart telling people I got out. Look at that. It flipped on me the other way, you know? Unbelievable. Yeah, of course, there's always going to be some little tiny coins that are up with tiny market caps, you know? But to me, that stuck a fork in anything that like had no real utility. Like, I just don't see it coming back. You know what I mean? A lot of coins, like, yeah, that coin too, meter governance token. I went over that coin years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. I did a review on that coin. Yeah, look, Adam has a wick to a penny. Like someone said, how is it possible it went to like... Yeah, like how did it go to a penny? And it did it in like, what, a minute? I just look at exactly what happened on the 1 minute. A 1 minute candle goes all the way to a penny, comes back up to, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I agree with you. GIGGLE is hot. This is a good dip for things that are hot right now, right? I mean, look at GIGGLE, don't care. Took a dip down to 79 and it's bouncing back strong. GIGGLE actually looks like it's going to pump. Look at this. So it looks like we have identified 2 strong coins right now already. So the people that want to sit there and cry can cry. The people that want to continue to trade and make gains are going to continue to trade and make the gains. To the lifers that are able to pick themselves up and keep moving as fast as humanly possible. I mean, that looks beautiful. Giggle looks like it could pump to 264. So Giggle and Zcash both looking interesting to me. And I'll be, that's why I'm here every single day live for free, just going over the charts. Because I'm not going to give up on you guys. If you don't give up on yourselves, I'm going to be here every day. It doesn't matter. All right? I'm going to find a way to help you win. 12 years ago, Bitcoin dumped 50% to 120, then ripped to 1750. It's what Bitcoin does. Yeah. I think Adam is on the radar institutions. They wanted a sweet entry level. A lot come in on the next few weeks about, We'll see what happens. Follow the money, right? And see where it goes. Giggle looks amazing. We'll take a look at BNB. Obviously, that would make sense, wouldn't it? I mean, they say it wicked to 868, but it's still back at like 1100, right? But it took a decent dump like most things. I remember dumps just like this before, though. And I remember the chart doing something just like this on a lot of coins, and just, it just ended up mapping out something like this and turning into a consolidative move that pumps so big. I remember this. I'm getting deja vu right now. Syndicate, interesting design you own. Thank you. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Shout out to Bellico X. Shout out to everybody here. Jennifer Moffitt, Barber Trader Joe. Rave Song Records in the house. Iris Ensing. Can you look at Solana? Let's take a look at that fan funding and see what's happening here. Wow, it's bigger than I would ever think. XCN, please. Had one of the strongest recovery pumps so far. Thank you. Let's take a look at XCN. I mean, from 0.5 all the way back up. Yeah, I guess, for the pricing of it, right? I mean, XCN looks like it's in this giant Adam and Eve still. See it? Still kind of subscribe to that idea. I still own it. Can we get all the way to 5 cents, please? Looks like it could take forever, but it's not over yet, which is crazy, right? Let's take a look at Cardano. Cardano took a beatdown out the flag. Everything just took a beatdown. It's so crazy. Like, you name it, it just completely ruined the setup that was being made for months on end. Months on end. I was just warming up. I was like, maybe I'm going to start opening up some positions in this stuff. And I started with a spot ASTER, and then I got cold feet and I tethered up, and thank gosh I tethered up that morning. And wow, it just completely collapsed. I tethered up 140 grand and the market just collapsed. I got so lucky, and I didn't get liquidated like the rest of the market. Kept my wits about me. I know I'm in the minority too, and I'm just sitting here like, what? And I think the lifers did pretty dang good too as a group. I didn't see a lot of people that got absolutely smashed and liquidated. My trading group did well. We avoided the pain. I may not have shorted perfectly and made tons of money, but I didn't get wrecked like 99% of the world. So, hey, I'm considering myself dang lucky. I'm looking for the bounce. Like, it has to bounce here. Kind of like Bitcoin, or you're just, you're going to come down somewhere to 31 cents. Or at least test the low there again at 50, 48, 53. Sitting now. We'll see what happens. Really got to watch Bitcoin right now, and everything else will kind of follow suit. Lots of action on social for Giggle. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, Giggle looks great. Really appreciate you saying that. Along Sweet 83. Unbelievable. God bless you, man. If I was home, I would have taken a crazy long. Why not? Whenever I see something like that, I've done it. After years of being in the market, you're able to take, take moves like that. Let's take a look at Syndicate, SYND. On MEXC. It looks horrible. It just keeps dumping. I'd stay away from it. Yeah, I'm moving on. God bless you, though. Thank you. Let's take a look at Solana. I mean, same thing as everything else. Watch Bitcoin. All right, but this is already back down to its daily 200 moving average. You expect a bounce here. If it loses the daily, it goes into some type of bear market pullback. And it probably comes and tests $90. Or at least 134. Right? So if you end up closing a candle below this yellow line, you're coming here and possibly there. That's what's happening. Otherwise, you can bounce, get sideways, and possibly still pump by somewhere into December and start this big move back to the upside. It'd be amazing if we break out and we finally hit $500 somewhere by May. If we actually hit 500 by May and everyone gets out of this alive, that would be unbelievable, right? It would feel like a surreal movie that never happened. Shout out to the 1,091 beautiful souls here on this Saturday night, hanging out with the Lifer. Thank you so much for being here. My name's Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer. I will live stream when everyone else disappears. When all your favorite YouTubers got liquidated and can't handle it, I will be here. I got liquidated, sold one Solana 180, and used to buy it at 28 cents on 50x leverage I made yesterday that I lost. Wow. Sounds like a rally in half. Remember the Santa rally? I know. Like there's going to be nobody here left for it. Hey, Sam, will the Lifer course be worth it for a guy who doesn't know the charts and basically new to crypto? 100%. It's for people that are just getting in and need that education. Jump on in today and click that link or the QR code to jump on into class the last Saturday of every month. It'll blow your mind. Every last Saturday of the month, hit the QR code and jump on into class. I don't even need to teach it anymore, but I do. I love it. It'll change many a life. I get so many testimonials about it, so I continue to do it. All right. Solana still strong at 174 if you really think about the big picture. So, hey, we'll see what happens. Market's not too bad compared to how bad it could be. Amazing to see what Zcash is doing. And, we found two coins that look absolutely pretty hot. But Bitcoin does look like it's going to roll over out of a descending triangle too. So I would just be careful. Market looks a bit sketch. We need a bounce for sure for BTC. We need 110 to hold tonight. It looks like it very well may not. Again, BOOKMAP suggesting we go lower to $109,000. That's where the liquidity lies. 108,700 for Bitcoin. I'd try to stay a little away from the market, take deep breaths, and just get through the next few days. Let it correct and find itself, and then, we continue to move. That's how I get through these massive, insane moves. You take a deep breath, you relax, and you get through them. All right? You can't get obsessed. And again, to the people that got absolutely wrecked, I know it's a lot easier for me to say because I didn't get wrecked than most people. But hey, take a deep breath, start over. You got this. It's not the end of the world. I lost my mom on Thanksgiving Day. Like, it could be worse. Remember that. I'd give it all back to get my mom back for an hour or so. And, it is what it is. So, God bless you all. I'm going to jump out of here. I'm sweating after a crazy day, too. And I'm still a little under the weather, too, with a bit of a headache. So, I want to rest easy. May God bless you all. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you to everybody out here. Shout out to everybody in the trading group staying strong. Have no fear. Stay calm. There's going to be awesome opportunities here. There's volatility. We know that. And so when there's blood in the streets, we can trade, baby. So I'm excited to see where the market goes. It looks like there's going to be a lot of opportunity for us to go up and down. Before we were kind of pinned at these all-time highs, it was getting tougher and tougher to trade. Now we're kind of reset. We're back to a lot of liquidity either way. It's actually a pretty good sign. So I'm excited for the week ahead, and you should be too. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning and break it down. And may God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. I'll catch you on the next live stream.